Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarty. I will be your host. We're going to go on a quest for truth together. And today, friends, we've got a very special guest. I want to welcome Redpill78, the corruption detector, better known as, I guess, Zach Payne.
Zach Payne. Yes, that's a welcome. Thank you for having me, Aaron. It's my pleasure to be here. And I just so you know, as soon as you hit live, it told me up in the corner that we are live on YouTube. So my theory was correct.
Oh, good. Oh, I hear the little thing. I knew it was going to happen. All right. Well, I can predict the future sometimes, I guess. Well, Zach, this is just a pleasure to have you here. Normally, I'm calling in on your show.
Yes.
And here you are as my guest. I'm tickled pink. And I put out a promo today, mystery guest, and the top two guesses were Trump and you. So the only two guesses. So I didn't let anyone know though. So.
Well, I let the cat out of the bag, and Real Red Pill Girlfriend has already sent you a super chat.
Oh my goodness, I see that. Oh, wow.
Look at that.
I'm just, okay. Wow. Let me go back to the Zoom here. All right. And open up the chat here. And I'm going to put the link in here. There it goes. I think that did it. There's the link to the show. All right. So thank you, Real Red Pill Girlfriend. Is it Red Pill Girlfriend or Real Red Pill Girlfriend?
Well, real. I mean, it's like real Donald Trump. You want to make sure that you're talking to the real Red Pill 78 girlfriend. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. You know,
yeah.
Well, I want to dedicate this show to my girlfriend that I love more than anything else in the world. And you know, as soon as I meet her, I'm going to tell her that I dedicated the show to her. So love her with all my heart. But so anyway, so Zach, you cover lots of subjects on your show, and I really, truly, honestly believe that there should be a kind of a truther awards, and you'd be my choice for the news award for the scoops, because you've had so many scoops.
Thank you. Well, I mean, it's good to hear. I'm glad that somebody out there appreciates it. You know, I feel like it's an honor to be able to do it. I love waking up every day and putting these shows together and then booking the guests. And, you know, if I could do anything different, it would be to be able to do more live streams with more guests, you know, but it's just, it's not easy booking quality people and you know, doing it 3 times a week. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to do though, and I appreciate you saying that, Aaron. It means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I haven't watched television since the late 90s, and so now, and I was listening to like public radio thinking I was getting something better than the mainstream news. It really wasn't. It was just the same. And then, you know, I discovered on the internet all these wonderful shows, including yours. And now it's, for me personally, you're my #1 news guy.
Thank you.
And, you know, I also listen to Quite Frankly, you know, occasionally, and Thomas at True Reporting, and you know, Joey Mormon. He's a fun guy.
Joey's a gas.
And Craig Mason and all these guys. Lots of fun stuff to watch, and you know, Amazing Polly and people like this. And too many to mention, but
yeah,
we should have like the Peppy Award, and I think you would be definitely getting a number of them.
Well, I think that's something you should organize, Aaron, because we've talked about this before. You've mentioned it. You mentioned it as the Pepe Award before, but then, you know, you said something about this Truth Awards, and I think that would be really cool because it's something that we could all stream at the exact same time on every single one of our channels and just saturate the interwebs with it.
Yeah, and we can maybe have like a digital red pill carpet.
Yes.
To the
Yes.
red carpet, red pills. You know, that'd be kind of cool.
Over the world with red pills.
And I also want to just say to any of the people, you know, from the fine organization known as Bluetooth here, that we are following all of the community standards that we know about. If we knew what they actually were, it would be a little easier, actually. But
Yeah.
we're doing the best we can. So,
Well, I mean, as somebody who is not allowed to have a YouTube channel, I obviously this is not my channel. I just want to say that right off the bat. I am not taking over Aaron's channel. He owns it. I'm just here as a guest, and you're supposed to be able to be a guest on people's channels, but they took away Method's channel after we did a comfy Sunday on his channel, and I think that the powers that be at Media Matters and YouTube, they already had it out for Methods. Although I felt terrible for about 24 hours after that happened, but he was fine with it. He was like, whatever, that was going to happen anyways. But yeah, I felt pretty bad about it.
Well, their media doesn't matter. Our media does matter because, I mean, look at frankspeech.com. They have 60 million people in a matter of a few hours that have logged on and watched some portion of that. I mean, that's 63 million. I mean,
yeah,
that's an insatiable thirst for the truth right there. And people just, they're like you. I mean, you're on all these other platforms and you're busting your butt to do it. And you're out there, and no matter where you turn, there's red pill, there's red pill, there's red pill, there's red pill. Hey, there he is again. And you've got your crowd is moving over, and you're building these other platforms. Are you going to go on Quite Frank or not on Frank Speech?
Frank Speech. Yeah, I tried to go on there the other day. I couldn't get on at all. But yeah, whatever he does with it, I'm definitely going to have a profile over there. I haven't had time to check it out again since that initial first day. But you know, I did see some screenshots of it. You know, it looks like he's kind of building it around like a framework of news. So I feel like I would fit right in there. I've tried to get Mike Lindell on the program too. I reached out through his there was like an option for press on his website when he released the overwhelming evidence video, and I haven't heard anything back. But yes, if I can get on there and if I can have a place there, I would absolutely do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it seems like a really cool place. I think that they're rolling it out slowly so they can kind of keep it from being attacked too much. So, and they were attacked that first day. They went down for a while.
Oh yeah. There was definitely a coordinated effort to take them offline.
Okay, I think I got to keep track of the chat room over here.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at it myself. Hello. Hey, Red Pill Doc. I haven't seen him in a long time. Wow.
Good looking guest. Yeah, look at that. Rad X. Keep up the good work, guys. Edgy Boys 87A. RP78. Keep it up, man. Koopa. There you go, buddy.
Hey, Koopa, what's up, dude? Good to see you.
Sopranos fan 11. Look at that. Hey, they're all here. Thank you, folks, for being here. I don't have any mods. I'm not sure how you get those. I gotta have my friend Red Pill on someday. I'll ask him.
I will tell you right now. So when you take your mouse and hover it over a name in the chat, and then there's 3 dots that appear next to the person's name on the right. If you click that, then you should be able to make them a moderator.
Oh, okay.
I will tell you, Koopa right there, E. Dubois 87A is a quality guy. He will definitely work hard for you in the mod department.
Okay.
Oh, there's Hulkinator. Hulkinator is another quality name we know well.
Well, it's not working for me for some reason. It's not. Anyway.
Are you logged into your YouTube through that browser?
I think so. But now wait, are you talking about my iBrowser? My iBrowser?
Well, no. Just like in the browser where you have the stream open, you should be logged in there as yourself as TruthQuest. And if you are in there as TruthQuest, then you should be able to make any of these people in your chat a mod. But if you're not logged in, then you can't do anything. Because then it's just like you're anybody else.
I think I am anybody else. I'm not sure. Yeah, I have that funny feeling that I am anybody else. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll have to play around with this a little bit more. But I want to get back to.
You got multiple people requesting to be mods. Koopa says he'll be a mod. Sarita12385 says I would love to be a mod. I'd apply for a mod position.
I don't want to have this be just a show about how long it takes Aaron to learn a very simple thing. That would be, it's already pretty embarrassing. But
it's all right. Okay, I'll take the heat off. We can go back to asking questions.
All right. Now, you say I've got a lot of questions, a lot of curiosity about you. Now, you have curiosity, and you have guests on, and you talk about sometimes UFOs and things like this. Now, have you ever seen a UFO?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've seen multiple UFOs. Okay, so the first one that I saw, I was young, and it was cigar shaped, and I was in the back seat of my mom's car, and I saw it through the right window up in the air, and it wasn't moving or anything like that. I was just like, well, it's not a plane. And then there's a couple more. There's a really, really good one, but I want to make sure I save that for last. What's another one that I saw? One time when my daughter was really young, and it was at the house that I lived at. I moved in there, and like, it was, I don't know, I think it might have been like 2005. Okay. So like 15, 16 years ago. And I was just a couple of friends and we were standing out. I lived on a dead end, and we were out on the porch, and it was summertime. So we were having a few cold ones, and we were just talking and looking around. And I used to smoke cigarettes at this time. So I was like standing out there smoking, and I looked up, and there was a string of lights that appeared to be attached to a fuselage, something like that. but there was no wings, there was no engine sound, and it went right over the house, like directly overhead. And I seem to remember that there was multiple colors, like it was blue and red, but it wasn't a plane because it was too close. And again, there was no engine noise. So that moved right over the top of us directly like that. And a couple other people that I was with saw it. And then another time, this would have been 2015, the summer of 15 or 16. I was house sitting for a friend. I mean, we're sitting out on the back porch with a friend, and we were watching there. You could see the planes coming into the airport. He was a couple miles behind his house, and there was there's a fence, privacy fence, and then there's a tree line that went pretty high up into the air. These are pretty old trees. And so you'd watch we were just watching the stars, and I was watching satellites come by, and we were watching planes fly in and land. And so, I mean, you know, the difference between satellites and airplanes. I mean, you can tell that, especially when you're out there for a couple hours all night, just watching. So satellites travel like east to west, don't they? Like, I mean, they have just like a one direction that they go, basically. And so we were watching them go that way. And then something came from the opposite direction, and it was just a bright light. And it came across the sky, and it stopped dead. Okay. And from that position, it moved into a delta formation. So it like went down, over, and then back up to where it was before. And then it came closer, it got bigger, and it was just a light. And then it moved down towards the tree line one more time, and then it shot straight out into space and just disappeared altogether.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, unidentified definitely, but I don't think that it was like a terrestrial craft. It didn't move like anything I've ever seen. I don't know anything that can go like that. That was probably the most incredible one that I ever saw.
Wow. And once you do see something like that, when people try to like poo-poo it, oh, it was probably just a weather balloon. So, you know, when you're looking at it, those things do go through your mind, and it's definitely not a weather balloon.
I mean, weather balloons aren't like they're not lit up, right? I mean, and they're only going to be moving with the wind. They're not going to be moving in multiple directions, and
Right.
and it's certainly not going to go all the way out to space and just disappear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lightning bugs. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
not a lightning bug either. We had plenty of those.
Nowadays, you know, nowadays it seems like I don't really put as much stock into the modern sightings because there's so many drones flying around. It's be so easy to hoax uh, a, a uh, a sighting, you know, and I've still got that hoax video contest going too. If you have a video idea for a UFO, I got a hoax contest going on, and you win one of these games, which you already have. Tetragon.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, you know, here's the thing, man. Computer animation and the ability to hoax videos, it's ruined the entire concept of you know, UFO videos, because you really can't tell what you're
Right.
looking at unless you have the way to, you know, I guess take the footage and break it down using some type of program that can tell you whether or not it's got you know, artifacts in it.
Right.
And you know, I mean, so I never get excited when I see things anymore. I just always assume, you know, God, it would be so easy to fake.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
the only time that I feel we can like legitimately believe that something truly is unidentified and not manipulated is when it's on like crappy cell phone video.
Uh-huh.
Because if somebody's going to fake something like that nowadays, they're going to make it look spectacular.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a really interesting one. I think it was just the other day over like Norfolk, Virginia, or something like that. It looked like a comet or a meteor coming in at first, but the shape of it never changed. And it was only moving. It was like moving through the sky, and it was taking a really long time to get down. And as it got closer and as they zoomed in farther, you could tell that it was like the hot leading edge of like a saucer, essentially, you
Uh-huh.
know. And it was just like it was coming through the atmosphere, and it was a glowing red hot. And yeah, it was really cool, and it came down behind some trees, and it didn't crash, you know. I mean, it came down slowly. Hi, Chi, come here. I got to get Chi. Come here, buddy. Everyone, in case you've never met Chi, this is Chi. Say hi, buddy. He just likes to sit in my lap while we're on the computer.
I'm watching my son's two dogs. They're in the basement right now, and I'm hoping I don't have a Muffin Gate 1.0 for me. It's Finn and Daisy. They're border collies.
Finn and Daisy. Okay, sweet.
Finn and Daisy.
Bob Legler in the chat says, problem is you don't know if it's a Navy experiment or a UFO. I should clarify. Yeah, anytime you see anything, you don't know whether it's like advanced, unacknowledged black budget program craft, or if it truly is extraterrestrial. So when I say UFO, I always leave open the possibility that it is something off-world, or it's just an unacknowledged program that we have from you know, the United States government here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a lot. You know, a lot of the triangle crafts that people see. A lot of people are saying that's the TR-3B, and it's something like since the mid to early 50s, and it can go to the moon and can go. You know, it's a pretty spectacular craft, and some of the patents for it have already been released to the public by the Navy. So, you know, this stuff, now I heard that the reason why all this disclosure is happening with all these patents being released and anti-gravity and is because China kind of had a back door open to someone who had a homebrew server. I'm not sure who it was, but someone in government who had a homebrew server in her closet.
Yeah.
And the Chinese could just go in there and take all that stuff. So we had to release these patents so that we wouldn't have to pay China to use something we developed
for the royalties
they stole. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's disclosure, and the disclosure that's happening in the mainstream media. Now, anything that happens in the mainstream media, you gotta like take it with a grain of salt. And this disclosure they're doing, it's just, okay, here's another grainy little teeny picture that the government says might be something. Well, we need something way more than that. That is just not going to placate us. It's not going to, no disclosure, no stop talking about it. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to bring in it because Red Pill, we've been denied a great life in a futuristic world by these people who developed these things and kept them secret for very greedy reasons. And
I agree.
It's just, it's un-American.
Well, you know, I don't think that Americans are in charge of America anymore. And, you know, I think that, and I'm not totally black pilled, but I think that, you know, there's obviously there's different factions that have varying positions in the government, varying levels of power. And by and large, you know, the criminal cabal that is running not only America, but the world, you know, they're truly globalists. I mean, they rule without borders. It doesn't matter where they are. You know, maybe they have a home in Nantucket, but they have a corporation in Panama, and they have a weekend home in the Bahamas. And, you know, it just goes on and on. I mean, they're truly, you know, everything is global about them, and their fortunes are outside of the boundaries of any country. So they're not paying any taxes. They don't really have any allegiance to any one specific government or not. And, you know, they've probably got a bank account in Switzerland too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, what we got to do is, you know, turn the page on them and all start using monopoly money instead of real money.
That's why I keep telling people that crypto is something you want to get into.
Crypto.
Because, I mean, they can't control that. It's outside the boundaries of the fiat financial system. And as long as there is a demand for money outside of the traditional banking system, that stuff is going to hold value. And, you know, every time I bring it up, though, people are like, which crypto should I buy? Well, it's not for me to say. You know, none of this is truly financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Right. And there's a lot of different resources out there for everybody. I think it's more important for people to do their own research and determine what feels best for them. You know, it's like when to learn how to stream, the first thing I did was go to YouTube and search, how do I stream on YouTube? And then I had to figure out, you know, so there's so many different levels to everything, you know, because for me to just say, you know, hey, crypto's a good thing to get into, it's very complicated. You know, you got to know what wallet to get. You got to know, you know, what's the best way to store your information, you know, all of the different things to keep yourself safe. You know, what kind of computer system do you use, you know, on and on and on and on and on. And it's never ending. So there's no one correct answer. It's all individual.
Right. And look at the Kate Awakening, and she did all of her like first couple years on her iPhone. Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You know, I'm on my iMac here.
Yep.
So
as am I. Michael Orleans made a comment in the chat. He said, Podesta and Hillary wanted disclosure. What does that tell you? Podesta and Hillary didn't really want disclosure. They wanted a limited hangout. Okay. They wanted the ability to release certain information to control the narrative.
And distraction.
Yes. So, just because they're saying we need to disclose this and, we need to think progressively. It's all a manufacturing. It's a manipulation. So, what I just want the truth. Okay. And I don't care if it's about aliens. I don't care if it's about, the extra dimensional beings. I don't care if it's about God and angels. I want to know the truth about everything.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that we can get to the bottom of. There's many different things that have been covered up, and religion, obviously knows, everybody that watches me knows that I have a personal relationship with God, but I think that even religion has been manipulated over the years. I just purchased the Nag Hammadi. Have you ever heard of that? They're essentially I don't know if they fall within the Apocryphon, but like the Book of Enoch, I believe, is part of the Apocryphon. These are books of the Bible that were removed or deemed too dangerous to include. But the Nag Hammadi is a series of scriptures that were found, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, in in a clay pot, someplace out in Syria or Israel or something like that. And one of those books is the Gospel of Thomas, and there is just some really interesting things in there. It's more like a philosophical interpretation of the teachings of Jesus rather than like a dogmatic or religious. There's so many different things that have been manipulated throughout history. And the sad thing is, because there are so many years between us and when truth was originated, like the only time that we have 100% truth is when it comes out of the mouth of the person who's revealing it, because they're like a primary source of it. Like people mention Mark McCandlish was the architect who had worked with the Disclosure Project to provide blueprints of off-world ships and stuff like that. So I can't remember if Mark McCandlish was just working off of concepts or if he had specifically worked with NASA to actually, show the things that he had worked on. But, I like Phil. Was it Phil Schneider? He had his, Phil Schneider. He worked in underground bases. He got his hand blown off by some kind of crazy extraterrestrial. That's it. And even then, we don't really know, because anybody can say anything. And there are so many disinfo agents who are out there who are looking to control that narrative. Like if John Podesta came out tomorrow and said, I've got, all of this information about UFOs and I need to release it, and here's the truth, I wouldn't trust a word of it.
No. It's like you said, limited hangout. And I think our buddy Jordan Sather says that a lot too, and with a lot of truth. The thing is that we need full disclosure, not this limited distraction. I mean, now the one case that has a lot of witnesses, 7 to be exact, 6 now because unfortunately William Whitecrow passed away, but Andrew Basiago, 7 people came forward who were in these programs with him. So you got to think, if 7 people came forward to verify his story, that means other stories have a much higher probability of possibly being true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just keep going back to the fact that from Kitty Hawk to the moon was 66 years. From the very first flight to landing on the moon in 1869, 66 years.
Yeah, and we've essentially not progressed beyond that.
Yeah, it's been 52 years or something like that. But it makes sense that different parts of the secret government would want to have an off-world colony of humans in case an asteroid hits Earth, right? It's just that instead of doing it publicly, they said, okay, we're going to tell these colonists that life no longer exists on Earth. They're the last ones left. It's like an experiment. And we're going to tell the people on Earth that there's nothing on Mars. So neither of them know each other exist. I mean, yeah, technology supposedly doubles every year or every 2 years. So if that's the case, 50 years after a 66-year journey from flight at Kitty Hawk to the moon, we definitely have colonies. I mean, there's no mathematical way it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and just look at automobiles. We're essentially using the same technology that the Model T was built on, except that they might have gotten better gas mileage, to be quite honest with you. They had electric cars. Tesla had an electric car all the way back then.
Wow.
Wheezy Girl's here. What's up, Wheezy?
I'm going to add her as a moderator. I finally figured out how to do it.
You figured it out?
I got 2 mods now.
Proud of you, Aaron.
They're the modest. The most the mod squad. Thank you, mods. You guys rock. Let's keep it comfy in there. I wonder who I heard that from.
Comfy is the only way to be.
Yeah. I share your show out every day on Facebook, and I write real news. This is real news. So, hopefully some of my normie friends will, take a listen and because, once you hear a newscast that tells the truth, you can't go back to that other stuff that's just, it's ridiculous how much they have to lie and lie about a lie. The lies become like a big monster that you have to like take care of. Like, oh, I said this, but now I'm saying this, and now, oh, kids in cages, but oh, now it's just a detention center or a transition center or whatever. Yeah.
Well, the lie is the news now. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they've spun the narrative out for so long. If they were to go back on any of this stuff, then their credibility completely unravels. And so therefore they can't. They just have to keep it going. And it's really sad. I mean, I remember watching what was the movie about Woodward and Bernstein with Dustin Hoffman and about Watergate. They were meeting Deep Throat in the basement of like the parking garage and stuff. And, they were actually doing investigative journalism, trying to, uncover what was supposed to be this huge political scandal. And in retrospect, you look back at that and you're like, oh, so Nixon recorded people that he talked to. I mean, that's just good business.
Yeah.
And now the thing that passes for journalism is writing hit pieces on people making videos on the internet. It's like you don't have anything better to do. There isn't enough corruption and criminal activity in government and business. We have an epidemic of white collar crime, of people on Wall Street taking advantage of mom and pop, destroying businesses, watching as the top 1% continue to siphon wealth away from normal people like us. I mean, I got a story for you. I'm never going to be able to retire. And I know a lot of other people who are going to work until the day they die, probably, because the buying power of the American dollar isn't jack squat any longer. And everything keeps getting more expensive. We keep making less and less money. This is it. Like they are turning America into a third world country. They're perfectly happy with it. And those people in the mainstream media, they're already part of the club. They've already made it. They are guaranteed to have their futures taken care of. All they had to do was sell out their fellow man. Right. All they had to do was lie, cheat, and steal, and cover up a little corruption. Who knew? Who knew that was all it would take?
But guess what? I saw something streaming from the White House today, and it had like 1,000 people watching it. And you got 63 million people tuning into the Pillow Guy. Think about that. Think about that. And think about Michael Lindell. He's trying to wake people up, but he's also trying to help them put them to sleep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one, dude. You're totally right. You're totally right.
You'll rest well once you know the truth. You'll rest better. I got to get one of those pillows. Those are pretty cool. He's a great guy. And, I have a friend I went to school with. His name is Randy Ketcher. And Mike Lindell is his hero. And he was talking about him before any of this happened. And he's also a recovering person. And he's got this invention that attaches to the edge of your dock, or it can attach, in sand or in the ground. It's a tip-proof hammock. It's a hammock that doesn't tip.
Well, that's good.
And so, yeah, I think Mike Lindell should sell those babies because, resting in a hammock is like the ultimate rest, right? He could make pillows for that. So that's my suggestion to Randy. And
here's the only thing is that I think that Mike likes to have the patents on everything that he sells. Because I've noticed that each thing that he has is either developed by him or it's like specific to him. Sure. He's got slippers now. I was considering getting a pair of those slippers the other day, but I don't know. Well, I need to check them out. See how good they are. Wait for some other people to write some reviews.
Are they made? They're probably made in America, right?
I would hope so. And if they're natural sheep's wool on the inside, I would totally get them.
And it's really, really sad that a gentleman like that, who's got this business, and he's got like 250 or 2,500 employees, and he completely revamped his shop to make masks for the pandemic. I mean, he should be like a national hero. He shouldn't be being kicked off of all these platforms because he has a different political view. I mean, that wasn't political. It was helping with the pandemic. And, people thought it was still kind of real. But
yeah, isn't it amazing? I mean, I have to be honest. I never really worried about it. Like even when they were, I was like, I'm just, something doesn't feel right here. So I don't know. I'm not worried. Yeah, but going back, I mean, people were so scared. And even the people who are scared now, it's like they're just in the mood. They've been like brainwashed into thinking that they need these masks. I went to go pick up some food yesterday.
Yeah.
At a restaurant. It was a bar. And, everybody's eating. Even the people who are not eating but are sitting at the bar. Nobody has a mask on. Only person with a mask on is the girl behind the counter. And she's on the phone taking an order. And I walk up without a mask on. And she turns around and she looks at me like this, like her eyes got so big. And I couldn't see her face. So I'm like, well, I don't know if she recognizes me or something. And she puts the phone down in the middle of the order. And she comes over to me and she says, "Do you have a mask?" And I was like, I pulled it out just long enough to sign my receipt. And she gave me the food. And as soon as she did, I just pulled it right off. And I was like, yeah, because this is how COVID works. This is how sicknesses work, So my mom was telling me a story. She has a friend who was talking about traveling, and she's going to be wearing 3 masks when she goes traveling, just in case. And my mom was like, "Are you serious? Like, you're really that scared?" And she's like, "What do you think's going to happen to you if you get COVID?" And she's like, "Oh, well, then I'll be sick, and then I'll have the antibodies." And she's like, "Okay, so arguably that's a good thing." Because once you have the antibodies, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. I mean, like your body's going to be good at fighting it off. Doesn't make any sense. These people, they understand that they're being illogical. They understand that there's no rhyme or reason to their decision-making process and the fact that they're following these just airheaded orders, but they do it. They just continue to do it.
Yeah, it's, people are easier to control than a mealworm. It's bizarre. I mean, why would anyone want to control anybody? I mean, it would take like a psychopath to want to control other people. I mean,
that's the secret though, Aaron, is that we like all of these people in power are psychopaths.
Yes.
They have sought out these positions of power because of their psychopathic nature. They want to dominate, they want to control, they want to tell people what to do. And so it's the perfect place for them is high level positions in American corporations, and then positions within the United States government.
When choosing a path in life, avoid the psychopath. Just try to avoid the psychopath. That's all you got to do. Now, I thought of something. You see a lot of pictures from the 1918 where they were all wearing masks, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what if I was some foreign adversary, maybe a country that starts with CH, and I was trying to figure out a way how to subvert them and to control them. I'd look back in their history 100 years and go, oh, look, 1918. They got them all to wear masks out of fear. That's what we do. And it seems like it was pre-planned, Event 201, which quite frankly was talking about today. Boy. But
well, I mean, not only that, but I mean, that report that I did on those 2 studies, I mean, wearing masks causes brain damage because you have oxygen deprivation, so many ill effects for your health. And, what better way to slowly subvert and take over your largest global rival than by collectively giving half the population, half of the big thinkers, the people who are supposed to have the science on their side. Why not just give them all brain damage? Reduce their cognitive abilities and their motor functions all at the same time. I said that I was like, the biggest fear I have is morons wearing a mask while they're driving alone in their car. I mean, I would really like to get some statistics on car accidents. Well, I mean, I guess there were fewer car accidents in 2020 because just fewer people went outside of the house. I mean, all forms of death, death by any means, they all dropped dramatically. But now if we're going to be with this mask wearing society for all of eternity and people are just not going to question it, man, I'm interested to see how this really affects the people of the United States long term.
Well, and that's exactly why I invented the Invisimask, because, of course, it's made with nanoparticles and it doesn't inhibit your breathing. And I teleported one to everyone's face. So everyone's already got one. It works with your immune system. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing.
I have an advanced nanotechnology Invisimask on. Couldn't you tell?
Yes, yes. Because with an invisible virus, you need an invisible mask to fight it.
That's right. That's right.
Nothing else will do.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
It really is. It's clown world. I mean, but you know what? It's getting harder and harder for them to control people, because look at all the people. Like I use my pillow example, and you as an example too. I mean, you were huge on YouTube, and now you're on all these other platforms, and they're all building up. And it's like now it's like this gigantic, constantly growing. I hope that you're able to monetize yourself in a way equal to or close to what you had at YouTube. And that's why, folks, please give to Red Pill here. I should probably put your
thank you.
Put your thing in the chat here.
I can put my Cash App in there.
Yeah, put your Cash App in there. This is great. And I'm sorry I'm not on the chat as much. It's really, it's hard for a guy to do multitasking. And, I've come to the conclusion that, women are really good at multitasking. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. Well, I don't know. I am really good at multitasking, and maybe it's not such a good thing because Red Pill Girlfriend is always yelling at me for not focusing on one thing. But I have like super ADD, and I have a really hard time doing one thing at a time. So I kind of have to multitask so that I don't get bored of any one thing too quickly and then just don't go back to it.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I hope that I'm able to successfully commercialize, my passion again. It hasn't happened yet. And really, there is no alternative to YouTube in the same way. I mean, YouTube is the largest video streaming platform on the internet. And, the only, honestly, at this point, really the only true way to make that up, because I've looked into everything I possibly can do. There's a small amount of revenue that comes in from Twitch. There's a very, an even smaller amount of revenue that comes in from DLive, but those are the only ones. If it wasn't for my sponsors, I wouldn't have that steady income, and I'm just not comfortable asking people to donate to the show. I would rather have everything be free. And if people value what I do, then I would ask them to support it. There is a group of people that support me on Patreon, a group of people that support me on Subscribestar, and then sporadically throughout the shows, obviously I read off the Cash App donations, and then through my website too. I think that times are tough for everybody, and it's not like I'm the only person who's suffering financially. Right. And I would always ask that people who watch the show, make sure that you take care of your family, make sure you take care of yourself first. And, there might come a time when I have to enter the workforce in a different way. And the only reason I hesitate to do that is because that would take me away from doing the shows every day. I don't want to have to do that. Right. What I'm really hoping is that I will be recognized for the quality of the work that I do, the shows that I produce, the guests that I have, and that, by joining up perhaps with, some people who can see that value and maybe would like to help finance like a Patriot network or something like that. I think that would be, I think that would be the perfect scenario. I also should mention I do have the membership website too, redpill78.tv. That's all the shows that I do on all the other platforms. It's just that they are delivered to your Roku box, and you don't have to watch the sponsor commercials on there. So by and large, I want to be able to produce content and just have people support me as they feel in their hearts, that they should. It's the best way, I think. It can be really off-putting when people go like on their shows and beg for donations. Like I know, regardless of whether I get a donation or not, I'm not gonna stop the show. So I wouldn't feel comfortable telling people that. The show will always be there.
Well, I would encourage everybody here who enjoys Red Pill's show, if you're not already a subscriber in one form or another, you're on Patreon still?
Yeah, I am still on Patreon. I think I'm the last truther that I know of on Patreon. Patreon, Subscribestar. You can get a membership on DLive. You can get a membership on Twitch. You can sign up for a recurring membership through my website, redpill78news.com. All of those different ways, definitely support the show. The only one that doesn't take a percentage of it is Cash App. And Cash App, the reason I like Cash App is because it's like immediate. And if people donate while I'm on the air, then I can read it off. And it's just like Super Chats used to be. So that was, that's probably the biggest thing that I miss about YouTube is, that, I built a pretty large community there, and being able to interact with everybody in real time in the chat, and, seeing their chats. And then, when people felt that they wanted to donate, it's like, it's like a celebration every time it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do such a great job. And what I really love about your show is when you do your call-ins, mm-hmm. and you are so generous and so nice to people. Mute your stream, and you're it's like you're a friend. It's like you're everybody's friend. I mean, you have this friendliness about you. And I just think it's great. And the news you bring is invaluable. Really, it is. I mean, when it really comes down to it, I watch you, and occasionally I watch X22, but mostly you.
Thanks,
Because
man.
I get, yeah, it's great. It's quality stuff.
I really appreciate it, you know, and I, I'm glad that that's how you see it, and I hope that other people do too, because that's certainly the way that I want it to come off. I want it to be, you know, like we're hanging out. You know, it's just like and I mean it. Anytime I'm like, you know, anybody can call in, anybody, you know, can jump on the line and ask a question, and or you know, ask a question of the guest, ask a question of me. I only my only you know, wish is that more people would do it. I don't know if people are intimidated about getting on the phone, or if they're just, you know, not interested. But you know, I feel like it's a great format, and it allows me to you know, speak directly with people, and it's frankly a lot easier than you know, messaging, you know, like private messaging or a DM or an email or something like that. Because the emails, they take so much time. It's almost overwhelming sometimes. I mean, truthfully, the amount of work that I do every day is overwhelming. I don't get enough sleep, but like there's no other way to do it. I had hoped that by, you know, by this time I would have been able to, you know, maybe hire a couple people and do things a little bit differently. But you know, when everybody got kicked off of YouTube, that dream was dashed. But you know, maybe it'll happen, but it's just going to take a couple more years.
Yeah, I just love your format, and you're so good with the guests, and the guests you get the best guests. I mean, you had that employee from that company that starts with a D, with it does the
Melissa Carone.
Yeah, you
She's
had
coming.
her.
She's coming on again on Friday.
She's a rock star. She's running for office, isn't she? Running for office?
Yep, that's right. She's coming on to talk about her run. Well, is it? I think she's running for a state house position, maybe a state rep position.
Okay.
But yeah. She's going to come on and talk about that. And I'm also trying to get Matthew DePerno, who was the lawyer who spearheaded the Antrim County forensic audit that uncovered the like almost 100% vote flip from Donald Trump to Joe Biden.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm gathering all your information, putting it into the
Oh, thanks, man.
thing. The what you call it thing. I'm doing my best to multitask, but I'm not very good. I'm not as good as
Don Stables in the chat. I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to Aaron, but Don says you need to leave YouTube. People will follow. Yeah, Aaron, right now, while you're growing, I think it's the time. Right now is the time to make sure that you open up all those accounts on other platforms, because yeah, I think that a significantly larger portion of your audience will follow. You know, it's and Don, I got kicked off of YouTube back in October, so so I'm not on YouTube. But yeah, you know, right now while you're growing, it's the time to do it, because I mean, I tried for months and months and months before I got kicked off, and I kept saying, you know, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. And very few people went to any of those other platforms. And then, you know, once I was gone, it was too late. People had to find me, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Wheezy was all, yeah, Wheezy, JoJo, and Tea Time Rose, of course, they are the number one OGs, always in the chat. So they definitely had followed. But or maybe she's talking. Oh no. Red Pill Girlfriend's talking about Wheezy Girl sharing my Subscribestar link. That's what it is.
Okay. I'm going to put my stuff in there too.
Go for it. Yeah. Aaron is definitely worth a support as well.
Yeah, I don't like asking for it either. You know, it's hard to do, you know. I sold timeshare, and you do have to ask for the sale.
Oh yeah.
But I sold 4 timeshares in one day, which was pretty incredible.
That is pretty cool.
That was a fun job. You really get to know people. But I would just tell a lot of jokes, you know, and then they'd buy because, you know, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. The jokes just kept coming. Now, I want to ask, I want to go back in time. Let me see. We've been at it for about an hour now.
Okay.
Let's go back in time because you had some early television experience, maybe cable access. Is that right?
No. When I was like 12 years old,
Oh,
I did a syndicated children's radio program.
wow.
And yeah, it was all you know, just vocal work. And when I was in college, I did like a DJ, like a radio professional DJ program for a couple of years, and then I realized that it's really not all that profitable to be a radio DJ, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall that maybe the golden days of radio were ending.
Mhm.
And for a while, I wanted to make movies. I used to write a lot, and I had this dream to move out to California, and I did. I did move out to California. I was going to go to San Diego State, and then surprise, surprise, I was going to be a father, so I had to put all that on hold, and I devoted my life to raising my daughter instead of doing anything with any broadcast medium. But no, I never did public access or anything like that. I know you did though, right?
Yeah, I did. You know, I didn't even know it existed until I saw Wayne's World. I went, holy bejeebers, I can make my own shows. And it's so funny because Channel 20 in Mound, Minnesota, where I grew up, which was the birthplace of Tonka Toys, there was a cable access station there, which I started doing shows at. And there was this guy there, and I just reconnected with him. It's been like 30 years. His name is Bob Connolly, and he had a show on cable access called "Got My Own Show" with with TV's Bob Connolly. But the only reason he was TV's Bob Connolly was because he had a cable access show.
That is awesome. I love it.
He did such funny stuff, and I don't know. I got to ask him if these were set up or if they were real. But he did things like, okay, now it's time. We're going to have something we call phone fun. It's where we have fun with the phone. So he calls up this guy. He calls up this like country kitchen, and he says, hey, yeah, this is Jim over at the other country kitchen across town. Say, we're out of eggs. Can we get a case of eggs from you? Oh, yeah, we'll put it out back. Well, okay, we'll send a guy. He hangs up. He goes, we got a case of eggs. We're going to have omelets.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It is hilarious. And another time he called up this guy and he says, yeah, I'm calling about the apartment. He goes, oh, yeah, it's a studio apartment. He goes, okay, that sounds great. The price sounds good. But, you know, I'll be living there with 3 or 4 of my friends. Is that okay? Oh, sure. I think that'll be okay. And he goes, well, that's the wrong answer. I'm not actually calling about the apartment. I'm the owner of the apartment and you're fired. And he hangs up. He goes, we just fired a dude.
Oh my gosh.
So I got to ask him, were those set up or did he call back and apologize later? But yeah, it was hilarious stuff. Cable access was just great.
My Red Pill girlfriend just mentioned in the chat that Craig and his wife might be having their baby tonight. So I'm texting him, you guys, and we'll find out. Okay, so we posted on Discord. Hey, what's up, Average Joe? Let me see.
Wow, maybe on
Is
the
the
way.
baby coming? I haven't been in Discord proper. So let me pull that up. I'll see if we can find some info. What's that?
Do you have names picked out?
I don't know, and I don't know if they know what it is. I mean, besides a living, breathing human being.
Right.
Let's see.
You know, when we had our first kid, and when I was still married, I was talking to my wife about, you know, how we're going to raise the kid. And she wanted to raise the kid in the religion that she grew up in. And I said, well, why don't we just raise the kids to and teach them about all religions and have them pick their own, you know? Maybe it's not right for them. I don't know. But she wanted to do it her way. So that's what happened. I guess that's what happens most of the time, but I don't know. I see all religions as pathways to the same end goal. They all is like you either go through the city or go around the city. They all lead to the same. All roads are connected, right?
I can agree with you there. Yeah.
I mean, because not everyone is perfect for every religion. I mean, some person might be more suited to some other certain type of religion, would really get them spiritual, whereas other people would need a different kind. Just like there's different kind of cars, right?
Yeah. They all drive and they'll all get you to your destination. And that's the thing. We've all only got one ultimate destination. And regardless of whatever you believe while you're alive, you'll find out in the end what the truth is. So I think that any philosophy or religious dogma that helps people to be better human beings while they're alive, you know, that's okay. And because everyone gets to make their own choice, they all get to believe what they want to believe. But in the end, we'll all learn the truth, whatever that may be.
Yes. I remember I was at one church service. So it was at Hope Church here in Sturgeon Bay years ago. And the pastor or the minister, whatever you call them, it was a non-denominational church, and it was an Easter service. And he wove in every religion, even American Indian traditions and everything. It was so all-inclusive. It was like, it just made you want to cry. Like it's like one planet, one people, which is, you know, what I think it is. One planet, one people, definitely. So anyone who wants,
I mean, I've seen Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
No, that was, you know, it was a joke. Like that's the extent of my knowledge about Native American religion.
Well, yeah, well, one thing about Native American traditions is, and not necessarily their religion, but they're the animals in their folklore. There are no fake animals in their folklore.
Yeah.
They're all real. So, and Bigfoot is one of them. So
yes.
What does that say?
I mean, I definitely think that Bigfoot's real. You know, when Mount St. Helens erupted back in, was that like 1980 or something? There was a number of stories about, you know, Bigfoot, you know, Sasquatches, whatever you want to call them, that were, you know, that came down from the mountain because they were forced to by the lava. Some that were hurt, and they were actually attended to medically by people in the Forest Service.
Wow. That they didn't take a picture?
You know, I think they were trying to protect their anonymity, their privacy. Look at that. Another super chat from Redpill78 girlfriend.
Dad jokes galore. Yeah,
Yep.
well, dad jokes.
And I did get word back from Craig. They're definitely having the baby tonight.
Whoa.
Yeah. The baby's coming.
Do you know why you never see elephants hiding up in trees?
Because they lack the thumbs to climb the branches?
No, because they're very good at it.
I don't get it.
Hiding up in trees.
Elephants are good at hiding in trees?
They're good at hiding up in trees. Maybe I said it wrong.
Yeah, if there's a reference there, it's lost on me.
The dad joke. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to dig up a dad joke here for
That's great.
Thank you, Wheezy Girl. Please help Aaron out. Yes, I need a new brain. It's very needed here. Yes. No, I don't need a new brain.
Oh, that's great.
So you were a 12-year-old radio show. You had a syndicated radio. Now, how did that happen? I mean, that's pretty phenomenal for a 12-year-old.
I, I was interested in acting when I was little. Like I was in some plays and stuff.
Mhm.
And I want to say that the woman who spearheaded this, like it was like an alternative to like Radio Disney or something like that. Or
Mhm.
maybe it like went out on a bunch of those like kids radio stations.
Mhm.
And I can only think of one, and that's Radio Disney. I don't know of any others, to be quite honest with you. But
Okay.
like the woman who was putting it together, she was friends with my mom, and I think she might have said something about needing someone because there was a couple of us. I can't remember anybody's names. It was a couple of two girls, myself and another guy, and we would each do a specific segment. And then the other guy left, and then I picked up his segment, and so it was just me and the two girls. And once a week we would come in and we would record, and they would, she would give us the copy, and we would do our segments. And then it was in like a sound booth,
Mhm.
and it was in a recording studio, and the guy, I think his name was Dave. He would take that and he would cut it down and edit it, and then every week we would get like our copy of the episode.
Mhm.
We'd get like an audio tape of it. I don't know what happened to any of them, but they actually did a story about us on CNN, which was pretty funny to look and think about it now. But I think this was before Clinton was president. So, I mean, that was a long time ago. It might even been like in the first years of his term. So it was before CNN had really disgraced themselves. And, it was, at the time I remember thinking, like, wow, this is crazy. I don't even, I saw it was only broadcast like once, I think. Maybe it was broadcast a couple times throughout the day, but I saw it. And it was just like a 5 to 8 minute segment, something like that. But they like filmed me in the recording booth, and yeah, that was it. That was my brush with with television when I was a kid.
Well,
Yeah,
I think you got the bug from that, because look at you now, man. You got
yeah.
when I put out that I had a special mystery guest, people asked, "Is it Trump? Is it Redpill78?" One said, "Is it Redpill87?" It's like, I think he may have dyslexia, or maybe is it a different guy? I don't know, but
Redpill87.
that someone put that there.
That's
But yeah,
funny.
um, yeah, it's just bizarre. It's don't you just want the world to be like it used to be without all this nonsense coming out of the news? I mean, I don't even have the news, but it permeates everything. You see it. You see clips here and there, and it's nasty. So,
Yeah, yeah,
thank goodness for frank speech, and maybe if Trump comes out with his platform as well, uh,
yeah.
that's gonna like leave everyone in the dust. Now, I got a question. Someone posted a picture that said that Trump is back on Twitter. I don't
Mm,
think he's back on Twitter. That was
no.
some Photoshop thing or something.
Yeah, yeah, definitely is. Definitely is.
Yeah,
I've
that's
seen just recently somebody posted like it was a Trump tweet, then they just photoshopped in something. It was like him asking people to share that post or
mhm.
something like that, saying that he would do something if it got to 100,000 likes or shares or something like that. But yeah, President Trump is definitely not back on Twitter. I really hope that he does come out with his platform, whatever that's going to be. Um, because I would love to be a part of that too. I recently tried reaching out to President Trump to see if I could get him on for an interview as well. I mean, that was a big long shot, but I figure no guts, no glory, and if I don't try, then I'll never, definitely never have him on the show. But yeah, and as far as things the way that they were, I would just settle for taking the vitriol and the hatred and you know, fanning the flames of racial division. Let's just take that out, you know, I mean, because looking back at, you know, the way the news has been reported and the mainstream media, you know, once your eyes are open to the deception, you know, you can't unsee it. You know, it's like I can't unsee what has been revealed to me. And so you look back and you see reporting that's been done in the past, and you know, wow, I'll be damned if they weren't doing the exact same thing. You know, they just weren't as evil about the way that they presented it. I think that they got to a point where, you know, I mean, I think the news has always been, you know, if it bleeds, it leads. But you know, they went from, you know, maybe paper cuts and stub toes to fully eviscerated human corpses, you know, on prime time pretty quickly. And, you know, and now they can't step back from that. They can't undo it. You know, we can't stop seeing it. They can't stop reporting in the way that they do. Otherwise, it will just, they'll be revealed 100% to everybody. And right now, there is a small percentage of the population that still has that veil up and refuses to admit that this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
And so they're just going to keep going until they're forced to stop. And you know, I really hope that there are people who are elected to represent us that are willing to step up and do that. But I don't think that anything of significance will happen until perhaps, you know, people like us get into power, until we elect people who are truly going to represent the American public. And you know, I think that that's one of the scariest things that the mainstream media can imagine. You know, I mean, you know, right now, I mean, they're already afraid of going up against us with our tiny audiences on these alternative platforms.
Yeah.
That's terrifying to them. So, you know, imagine people, imagine 100 Marjorie Taylor Greens, or
Right.
Josh, what's his name from Minnesota?
Jim Jordan.
Yeah, Jim,
Ron
you know,
Johnson. Ron Johnson.
yeah, or Ron Johnson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jim Jordan, you know, any of those people. If we had a lot more of them in Congress that would be willing to stand up and stand on their convictions, then yes, that would be that would spell death for the mainstream media, and they would their days would be numbered.
Yes. I want to thank Wheezy Girl for posting my YouTube channel for kids. You know, I got something on there, shows you how to make cool airplanes out of paper plates that fly amazingly. It's amazing how they fly. It's just incredible. And
It's pretty cool.
all kinds of you know, experimental type airplanes.
Man.
This one flies really well.
Aaron, you're just a child at heart, aren't you, my friend?
Well, you know, I taught daycare, and
oh, that makes a lot of sense.
I had to think of like all these art projects, because I hated the ones in the books. So, you know, we had lots of paper plates. So, oh man, we made some cool paper plate airplanes. We made some cool stuff. And I keep having those ideas. So I've made this other little channel. I got like 20 subscribers. And some of my books are on there that I wrote. Dino sounds. What did a dinosaur sound like? And I thought of that when I was working at this daycare. So, you know, it's a cool thing. And so thank you. You know, I think you're right. And I think some of us are watching the program live. Others will catch the rerun, but they're all going to see us, you, and all the other truthers. Collectively, we are Toto, pulling back that curtain and revealing the operators that are controlling, that no one sees yet, but they're starting to. But I think the majority of the people already are seeing it. They are watching live. And like you said, there's that 10 or 20%, 15% that they're like, the CNN is my lifeblood and I believe everything because, well, you can't blame them because we were raised on, you know, Dan Rather and Ted Koppel and, you know, Walter Cronkite and solid news guys, right? So people trust the news. And
yeah,
That's why I think the news stations need to be cleaned out first, maybe.
They do. They do. You know, I mean, there's an incentive for them to lie to people. There's an incentive for them to get people riled up to cause this division. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, today in my report, I put the finger squarely on the mainstream media. I mean, they have helped to create the situation, the atmosphere that we have in America today. And
Mhm.
it's really too bad. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time not all that long ago that I thought America was going in a really good direction, that we had great relations amongst people here. And now it seems like, I mean, we're heading like headlong into a bona fide civil war / race war. And that's just not what I want to see for America.
No, I remember, I think I know what you're talking about, when Obama had 2 terms, first man of color that we can remember as president in our
Hmm.
lifetime. Yeah, I was so elated by that. I voted for him happily twice. The second time, it's like, well, he hasn't done much, but maybe
Yeah.
we'll give him a little leeway here. But yeah, um, we do need to get in there. But I had so much hope because the world was coming together. I even came out with some note cards, and I did like the cover. I did like a cartoon image of half of the face was Abraham Lincoln, the other half was Obama.
Hmm.
Like thinking like the this is great, like a unity thing, and that could have been, if he would have been a legitimate person like we thought he was, that
Yep.
could have really been the start of something really great. And you know what I wonder? I wonder if Disney World is working on the Trump animatronic for the Hall of Presidents. I wonder how
Oh,
it's going.
I so doubt that they will do that. Did they make an Obama one?
Yes, they did.
Oh,
Yes,
did they?
they did. Yes, I remember.
Wow.
So,
Man,
well,
if they did, that would be pretty interesting. I saw a pretty cool documentary about how that Hall of Presidents, well, I mean, the very first one, Abraham Lincoln, how that was created.
oh,
And, the Walt Disney's drive for perfection and, how they were changing the rides. It's pretty cool. I like going back and watching things like that, engineering marvels. It's pretty neat.
yeah. They actually took a sculptor took a plaster cast
Yep.
of Abraham Lincoln's face before he had,
Hmm.
and that's what they used to make the rubber mold for his
Mm.
face.
Yep.
Actually, his face.
Yep.
I always liked Abraham Lincoln. Well, Zach, we've been talking here for quite a while. Is there anything that you want to leave with our folks? I know that you said you might be going live later. Are you still going to do that?
Yeah, I think yeah, I might be doing a late night stream. We'll see how it goes. I meant to do a second video today, but I didn't have the energy once I got done, and then we had this scheduled. So yeah, I might do something a little bit late night. We'll see. We'll see. Just keep your eyes open, guys, and you may see me go live later on.
Okay. And for everyone out there who doesn't know about Redpill78, Zach Payne, the corruption detector, my goodness, check out the links in the description below and check him out on Rumble, Twitch, DLive, BitChute. He's everywhere except YouTube. But you know what? I think you're going to be back on YouTube because I'm going to ask them to bring you back and all the other truthers. I think they have to avoid suit. So wouldn't that be
Well,
nice?
that would be awesome. Yeah, that would be great. We'll see what happens. I won't hold my breath, but yes, check out my website, redpill78news.com. That's where you can get to every single link for every one of my various accounts on so many platforms. I can't even count them all right now.
Yeah.
And more to come with Frank's speech and hopefully President Trump's new platform, whatever that is.
Yes. And remember, too, everyone is always welcome to call in on my show every Sunday with Andrew Pashago, 3 to 5 Central, 4 to 6 Eastern. That's what it is.
Right on.
So
Right on.
come on and do that. And thank you very much, Zach Payne, the corruption detector. And
Thanks for having me, Aaron.
And thanks for Wheezy Girl. Oh my gosh, I got like pros doing my stuff for me here. It's like I feel like a king.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. Thank you to everybody for hanging out with us, for sure.
Yes, thank you everybody in the chat. We really appreciate all of the donations, and remember to support this man. He's doing great work, and he's got the scoops. You want the scoop? Talk to this guy. He's got it. Thank you very much, Zach, and take care. Peace in.